Hello and Assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome to the very first episode of IC Research Lab. This is Yasir, a data analyst and an AI researcher. Currently, I'm working as an operations analyst at Commure. Today, we'll learn two important concepts of SQL. One is DDL and another one is DML. So let's start. Firstly, in SQL, there are five types of SQL commands. The first one is data definition language, DDL. The second one is data query language, DQL. Third is data manipulation language, DML. Fourth one is data control language, DCL. And the final one is transaction control language, TCL. Now, coming to the DDL, data definition language. So it's basically used to define and manage the infrastructure or the structure of the data, like creating a table or emptying out the table, etc. So these are the six common DDL comments. The first one is create, where when we use it to create tables, indexes, function, etc. Second is drop, which is used to completely delete a table. Third is alter. We can pretty much add a column into a table using alter. Fourth is truncate. It is used to empty out a table completely. Five is comment, to add comments to the table. And to rename a table name, we use rename. Now, coming to data manipulation language, which is used to manipulate the data within a table. So to insert rows or records in a table, we use insert keyword. Then to update a record, we use update. And to delete a record or records, we use delete. Now let's dive deeper into each of these commands. Let's start with creating tables. First, use create table keyword. We'll be creating two tables. One is employee and another one is employee salary. So the first column would be a primary key, employee ID, and the type would be integer. And we'll set it as identity 1, 1. So using identity while inserting the values in this table, we won't need to specify the employee ID column, and it will increment the ID from 1 to 2 to 3. And if we use 1, 2 here, the ID will increment like 1, 3, 5, and so on. Let's keep it as it is, 1, 1, and it will be our primary key. Next would be employee name, and we'll set the type as varchar 100. So it will take up to 100 characters in this column, including spaces. And let's set it as not null, which means that there has some value in it. It cannot be null. Third one is department, and let's set it as varchar, and the limit would be 50. And the final one is join date. Let's say that's date column. And the first table is done. Let's create the next table. Create table. Table name would be employee salary. First, our primary key would be salary ID, which will be integer, and we'll use the same identity here, 1, 1, and we'll set it as our primary key. Next would be employee ID. We'll use this as our foreign key from the employee table, and it should be not null. Then salary, we'll use decimal 10, 2. So which means that the 2 is for the decimal will contain 2 digits after decimal, and with the 2 digits after decimal, it should contain a total of 10 digits. So for example, if the salary we insert something like this, then it won't work But if we do something like this is within 10 digits. It will work. Then we'll use the primary key from the employee table, which is employee ID, as a foreign key in our employee salary table. So how do we do that? Using constraint name is employee, foreign key employee. Then using foreign key keyword, we're referencing the employee ID of this employee salary table, and the reference would be from employee ID from the employee table. Let's run these two queries. It has run successfully. And let's see. Select star, select all from employee, and select star, all from employee salary. So let's choose it. So just a quick note that in Azure Data Studio, the portion we select and run will run only that particular portion. So you can see that two tables, employee ID, employee name, department, join date, and the other employee salary table. Right now, let's insert some values in it. So let's insert into the employee table. Let's populate the employee name, department, and join date. And the values would be, let's try the first one, John Smith, IT, department, and the joining date would be 15 January from 2023. And like the same way, we will insert the rest like this. And let's insert it. It has run successfully, and see the table. Yeah, so you can see that all these tables are populated. So let's try something like this. Let's say that the join date is not mentioned. What happens? So let's try. Values would be. Let's try John Paul. Department is also IT. And we don't specify it. What happens? Let's see. Run it. And then select star from employee. You can pretty much see that as we didn't mention the date, it has picked up a random date, which is 1900, which is not valid. And if we want to keep it as null, what does it happen? Let's try to add another one where we don't specify the, we don't add the join date at all. So it would be the name, and the department would be analytics. Let's see what happens. It has run successfully. And you can see that while creating our table, we have left the join table date as not as null, because it can take null values. And you can pretty much see that as we didn't mention the join date here, insert the join date here, it has shown null. Just the same way, let's try to populate the employee salary table. Let's run it. It has run successfully. Let's see it. Select all, from employee salary. Yeah, you can see that. So one important thing that I have set the integer here, but since I have created salary as decimal, it has already placed two decimal points, two digits after decimal. So that's how we can do it. And let's try to, uh, add value where employee ID is not present. So let's try to see what is present in the employee. You can see that there's 7 employees. And if we try to add another employee, which is, let's say 8, employee ID would be 8, and the salary, let's say it's 40,000. What happens? It is an error because we're using the employee ID as a foreign key from the employee table. Since 8 is not present in the employee table, it has given us an error. So what happens? So yeah. So let's try to add another column in the employee table. How can we do that? We can use alter table, and the name of the table is employee, and we need to add email, and let's set the type is varchar and the limit to 150. Let's try that. It has run successfully, and let's see. Select star from employee. Yeah, so you can pretty much see that since we didn't mention our emails and we have created this column afterwards, and it can be null. So the rest of the existing records are set as null. We can also, change the limit of the employee name. We can change the length. How can we do that? Using alter, alter table, employee, where alter column is the employee name column, and set the limit to varchar 150. So earlier it was 100, and right now we're setting it up to setting it to 150. Let's run it. So the employee name limit has increased to 150 from 100. Now let's try to um, drop a table. Let's try to drop the employee salary here first. Let's see what's inside. Let's start from employee salary. So the data is there. If we drop it, drop the table, which is employee salary, what happens? Let's see. It has run and tried to find the data. So it is giving us an error because we have completely deleted the employee salary table. So let's create the table again. Insert the values and try to add another column in the employee salary table. First, let's see what happens. What is inside? Yeah, the table is created and is good to go. Then we are, adding another column, which is email to the employee salary table. So let's do that again. Email and employee salary. And let's see what is inside. So okay, let's say a scenario where we don't need this email column from the employee salary. what we can do is we can pretty much combine the alter and drop, alter table, employee salary, and drop the column, and the name would be email. Let's try to drop it and see. So yeah, it is pretty much dropped the entire column. Right now, let's truncate this table. Employee salary means we're emptying out the table. So we're doing it by using truncate, and the table name would be employee salary. And let's see what's inside. Right now, it has emptied out all the records from the employee salary. So right now, let's insert these values again and try to rename our employee salary to employee payroll. How can we do that? We use exec sp rename keyword. The old name is employee salary to new name is employee payroll. Let's run it and let's try to find using the employee salary. It is not there because we have renamed it to employee payroll. So let's try employee payroll here. Yeah, it has been renamed successfully. So let's try to update our data from the employee table. So how can we do that? Using update employee, set the department as data analytics, where the employee ID is mine, which is 5. It's to 5. So before doing that, let's see what was inside our table. What is inside our table? Employee. Then we can compare it after the update. So this is it. Yasir Arafa, and my department is operations. Right now I'm changing it to uh, data analytics. Let's try to run it. And bingo. It has been changed to data analytics from operations. And if we want to delete a particular row, like this Saif Aman row, let's try that using delete from employee table, where employee ID is equal to 7. And let's run it and see. The 7th employee has been deleted. So this is pretty much the basics of DDL and DML. Uh, uh, so just a quick note that whatever you have learned today, try to combine it and try to play with it. For example, what happens if we try to delete an employee, delete a record which is not present? What happens? We want to update data which is not present. What happens if we update the existing data with the same name? Something like that. So try to combine your knowledge as much as possible and try to understand the behavior of it. And if you like this video, please do like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for your time. See you on the next episode.